how are you holding up? Like, genuinely, how are you holding up? That's a question that I asked one of my patients today as a nurse. If you guys don't know me, my name is AJ, and this video is part of a greater challenge called Project Eliminate, where I'll be filming every day for the next 30 days about decluttering my life in order to bring bigger and better things into my life, make space for what is important, and eliminate everything else. Back to the video. I work full-time as a nurse, and last night when I was working, I had a patient, and I got the opportunity to actually talk to one of the patient's family members. And the nice thing and the interesting about the ICU is that it's pretty rare to even have time to be able to talk to your patients, let alone the patient's family. There's always something to do, somewhere to be, some lab to draw, something to chart. Obviously, if you're a nurse, you already know, like, it's very busy. And a big part of this is knowing that there are souls and, there's an actual life, an actual story behind everyone that I take care of. And understanding that definitely allows me to remember the importance of really asking someone how they're doing. Just a simple question like that, I think, is so often overlooked, and something that I myself didn't necessarily implement into my own practice until I was a little bit more experienced farther along the road. But getting back into the story, I sat down and I was doing some things at the bedside, taking care of this patient's mom, and I asked the patient's daughter, how are you holding up? And she starts to talk about and go into her story about the holidays and how she doesn't like really the holidays at all. She doesn't celebrate it, but she really only celebrates it because of her kids and because her kids like it. And I couldn't help but wonder and stop to think, like, how many of us dread the holidays? I mean, obviously we just passed Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's, and these are all the biggest holidays of the year, and we talk about all these presents, but what happens when all that is over? What happens when we're back at work? It's January 2nd, and we're just back at our desk. Like, what are the feelings that come up? And for this lady, she was saying that every time around this year, her mom would get very sick, and her mom would go to the hospital, and that's why it would bring about some negative emotions, some negative feelings. And in that conversation, I really stopped to think about how lucky I am to view the holidays as a jolly and happy time for me to come together with my family and, just celebrate the reason for the season, right? As a Christian, I think Christmas is one of the most important holidays to us, and one of the ones that we celebrate the most and spend the most time enjoying in fellowship together. But I think with all that being said, it's also important to realize and put myself into the shoes of those people that don't necessarily see the holiday season as something that is a positive experience. And this woman definitely helped me see that and realize that in this whole month of Project Eliminate, where I'm striving to eliminate the clutter in my life, there's certain ideas in my head that I often just kind of take for granted, that everyone enjoys the holidays, everyone, is able to spend time with their loved ones, but that obviously isn't the case, as with the example of this woman that I got to take care of today. And so reflecting on that experience as something that is something that I can grow, something that I can change, a mindset that I can shift out of, and to really empathize with people like that. But anyways, got to journal a little bit about this experience. Project Eliminate has 3 rules, as you guys already know. The first one is only buying things out of necessity. The second one is that I will be decluttering one thing every single day. And the third thing being that I will journal about one experience daily. So today I have journaled about the experience that I just shared with you guys today. And obviously this was an impactful one for me. just thinking a little bit more about the importance of talking to family members and being able to, share the things that I value most. And I realized that talking to patients and being able to be a good listener is an important thing, important skill to have in healthcare and in nursing. So anyways, the last part of this video will be me decluttering one thing, as we've been doing that every single day. So I'm going to take you to my kitchen, and I have been meaning to do this for a very, very long time. But if you would excuse me, I'm running to the kitchen, and I have had these. It's like literally a Butterfinger and a Panda Express, I think fortune cookie is what it's called, for the longest time. And honestly, it needs to go. Part of decluttering is making sure that I am only keeping the most important things in my life. And a big part of that is throwing away the things that are junk food, throwing away the things that are getting in the way of my health goals. And so with that being said, these are going into the trash. And so as I take you over here, I am literally going to throw these things into the trash. All right. And the thing is, like, I haven't even eaten those. They've just been sitting on my table for the longest time. But I'm going to end the video off there. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's AJ. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. This channel is going to blow up. I already know 2026 is the year. We're going to stay consistent, and we are going to get to 1,000 followers by the end of the year. Mark my word. All right, guys. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.